Welcome back to Hardware Unboxed for a fun little video checking out some little, and I suppose fun hardware. Now, a little over a month ago, I finally built the ultimate value budget PC using the sweet little Cooler Master Masterbox Lite 3 case, a micro ATX motherboard from ASRock, and of course the Pentium G4560 processor. And making this little rig gaming compatible was the GeForce GTX 1050. This modest hardware combo was surprisingly capable, delivering very playable performance in games such as Titanfall 2, Mass Effect Andromeda, and Battlefield 1 for example. In that video I discussed the hardware used, showed a time-lapse of the build, and played the games just mentioned, along with a few others. You guys seem to really enjoy that style of video, and I had a heap of requests to do an esports version. There were also a good number of you keen to see a do-over with the RX 460. As many of you probably know, I'm madly working on a massive RX 580 vs GTX 1060 video for this Friday, which will be comparing the two GPUs in over 25 games. I'm making good progress on that video, so I decided to take a break from it today and do something a little different. Going with the idea of an esports version of that G4560 video, I thought I'd go one step further and retest with the Radeon RX 550, AMD's new $80 US entry-level GPU. The Asus RX 550 model I have on hand is very compact, and like the GTX 1050 doesn't require an external power connector. The version on hand also packs a 4GB VRAM buffer, but I strongly recommend gamers opt for the 2GB version. There's no way the RX 550 has anywhere near enough horsepower to utilise anything bigger. Right now, even at $80 US, the RX 550 is actually pretty poor in terms of value. When compared to the RX 560, it packs roughly half as many stream processing units at just 512, so you can expect roughly half the performance. For esports titles, that should see the RX 550 still able to deliver playable performance, but priced just 20% less than the RX 560, it's going to be hard to justify that 50% reduction in cores. So why use the RX 550 at all then? Well, it's my hope that before too long, we will start to see RX 550s selling for as little as $60 US. At that price, it does start to make sense, and it would make for an awesome $120 combo with the G4560. That said, how does the RX 550 perform with the G4560? And if priced around $60 US, is this a combo you should even consider? To answer that question, I have queued up 7 popular esports titles to see how this budget combo makes out. Now, please be aware for this video, I won't be including any graphs or usual sort of data breakdown type stuff that you guys often find in the Hardware Unboxed videos. Rather, for this one, we are looking exclusively at gameplay footage. Hopefully next week I will have time to retest and compare all the entry-level GPUs side by side in a slew of graphs. For now, let's just see how the RX 550 gets on with the G4560.
Yes. Yes. To the massacre. Our allies' base is threatened. Our allies' base is threatened. Mineral field depleted. cockpit intense.
Fire! Fire!
Alert. The enemy has taken our intelligence. The enemy has dropped our
Fire!
I really, really hope it isn't too long before we see RX 550 graphics cards getting down to around $60 US. For casual gamers and even those keen on their esports titles, an affordable RX 550 is a great way to go. The performance just seen was very solid. Taxing titles such as StarCraft II sat around 80 FPS, but occasionally dropped down to 60 FPS when things got a bit heated. DOTA 2 with the quality settings maxed out played at around 60 to 70 FPS, though at times did dip into the 50s. Maxed out World of Tanks played at between 40 to 50 FPS. The game looked good and was of course very smooth. Then we have CSGO, which was also maxed out and played at over 100 FPS at all times. It mostly hovered around 120 FPS. Team Fortress 2 was tested using the highest possible quality settings. Frame rates dropped as low as 100 FPS, but would spike as high as 200 FPS. For the most part though, frame rates seemed to hover somewhere in the middle. For Overwatch, we used the medium quality settings, and gameplay was extremely smooth with around 60 FPS for the most part during heavy battles. Then finally, Rocket League maintained over 60 FPS at all times, and frame rates were often found hovering around 70 to 90 FPS. So then, the Pentium G4560 and Radeon RX 550 are a very capable combo. We just need that Radeon graphics card to become a little bit cheaper. For those of you that don't want to spend time researching secondhand hardware and taking on the various risks associated there, I highly recommend this combo. Well, that's going to do it for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed the esports action. I'm going to get back to working on that RX 580 versus GTX 1060 comparison. I'll catch you again soon.